Most people think they already know what life in South Africa looks like. They think they have seen it. They think they have understood it. They think a few headlines, a few travel videos, and a few social media clips tell the full story. But they don't. Daily life in South Africa is not what most people imagine, not what they fear, and not what they admire. It is something quieter, something more complex, and something far more human. And before we talk about money, houses, or lifestyle, we need to talk about expectations. Because expectations are where most people get South Africa wrong. Some people expect luxury. They expect beaches, wine farms, modern apartments, and a relaxed life. Others expect danger. They expect chaos, struggle, and constant fear. Both sides are incomplete. Real life exists somewhere in between. And that middle space is where millions of people live every single day. So today, we are not talking about extremes. We are talking about normal life. A normal morning, a normal routine, a normal day. If you understand the normal, you finally understand the country. Most days in South Africa start early. Not because people love waking up early. Structure matters. People plan their days carefully. They plan where they go. They plan how they move. They plan how they spend. This is not anxiety. This is adaptation. In many neighborhoods, mornings feel calm. You hear gates opening, cars starting, people walking to nearby shops, children heading to school. It does not feel dramatic. It feels ordinary. And that ordinariness surprises most outsiders. Housing is the first reality people misunderstand. South Africa does not have one housing story. It has thousands. Some people live in apartments. Some live in townhouses. Some live in shared homes. Some live in informal areas. Luxury exists. Poverty exists. Most people live somewhere between those two extremes. They are not rich. They are not constantly struggling. They are managing. Managing rent. Managing utilities. Managing space. Housing choices are not about showing status. They are about balance. Balance between safety and affordability. Balance between distance and convenience. Balance between comfort and budget. People choose neighborhoods carefully. Learn which areas work for their routines. They adjust when needed. This constant adjustment becomes normal. And that is one of the first lessons daily life teaches here. Flexibility matters more than perfection. Now let's talk about something people rarely show honestly. Food. Food in South Africa is not just about eating. It is about planning. At home is common, very common. People buy ingredients weekly. They plan meals. They avoid waste. Eating out exists is not a daily habit for most people. It is something done occasionally, intentionally. Food is not about luxury. It is about routine. Markets, grocery stores, and local shops are part of everyday life. Fresh produce is accessible. Meals are simple, but they are satisfying. Food here is not designed to impress anyone. It is designed to work. And that tells you a lot about daily priorities. Transportation is where daily life becomes very real. People often imagine that everyone drives expensive cars. That is not true. Some people drive, some use ride-hailing services, some walk, some combine multiple options. What matters is not the method. What matters is efficiency. Distance matters. Timing matters. Location matters. People learn quickly that time is valuable. Wasting it creates stress. Managing it creates stability. So routines form, routes become familiar, days become predictable. And predictability is comfort. Now let's pause here for a moment. If you are watching this and imagining yourself living here, ask yourself one question. Would you prefer a life that looks impressive, or a life that feels manageable? Think about that, and feel free to share your answer in the comments, because this question defines how people experience South Africa. Community is another part of daily life that outsiders often misunderstand. The challenges, people talk. They greet each other. They connect. They share small moments. Life is not lived entirely behind screens. It is lived in conversations, in shared spaces, in simple interactions. Weekends are slower, not because life is easy, but because rest is valued. People gather, they sit, they talk, they breathe. Social life does not always require money. Sometimes it only requires time. This sense of community does not erase problems, but it makes them easier to carry. And problems do exist. Electricity interruptions affect routines. People plan around them. They adapt. They adjust. Safety awareness is part of daily thinking. People learn boundaries. They learn patterns. Stay alert. Inequality is visible. You cannot ignore it. You should not ignore it. But living in constant fear would be dishonest. Just like pretending everything is perfect would be dishonest. Most people live between awareness and optimism. They are not naive. They are not hopeless. Are realistic. Daily life in South Africa teaches one powerful lesson: control does not come from avoiding problems. It comes from understanding them. This is not a place where life is handed to you easily. But it is also not a place where life is impossible. It is a place where intention matters. And as this series continues, we will go deeper. Into money, into cost, into choices, what truly shapes quality of life here. But for now, this was just the beginning. The part most people never slow down enough to see. If something in this video challenged what you believed before, let me know in the comments. Because the real conversation starts there. Before we move deeper into daily life, we need to talk about something that quietly controls almost every decision people make in South Africa. Money. Not wealth, not luxury, just money as a tool for survival, balance, and choice. In South Africa, money is not only about how much you earn, it is about how carefully you use it. Two people can earn the same amount and live completely different lives. One feels constant pressure. The other feels stable. The difference is not luck, it is structure. Most people here do not live without thinking. They calculate. They prioritize, compromise. This is not because they lack ambition, it is because reality demands awareness. Daily expenses shape routines in subtle ways. Water, transport, food. None of these are ignored, they are planned for. Electricity interruptions, for example, changed how people think about time. People learn schedules. They know when power is likely to be available. They charge devices earlier. They adjust work hours when possible. This is not chaos. This is adaptation. Life does not stop, it shifts. Oh, and this ability to shift is one of the most important survival skills here. Transportation adds another layer to daily decision-making. Long commutes are avoided when possible. Living closer to work is often worth smaller living spaces. Time saved is valued more than size. People who manage time well often experience less stress than those who chase appearances. In South Africa, appearance can be expensive. Expensive choices create fragile lives. This is why many people choose practicality over image. They choose reliable routines, predictable costs, sustainable habits. And over time, these choices build a sense of control. Now let's talk about work. Work life in South Africa varies widely. Some people work in offices, some work remotely, some work in formal jobs, some work multiple roles. Job security is not guaranteed. Because of that, many people think ahead. They save when they can. They avoid unnecessary risks. They prepare for uncertainty. This mindset shapes daily behavior. People do not take stability for granted. They respect it. This respect shows in how money is spent. And more importantly, how money is not spent. Impulse spending is dangerous here. It creates stress quickly. So people learn restraint. Because they want less, but because they want peace. Now ask yourself something. Would you rather earn more and feel constant pressure, or earn enough and feel in control? There is no universal answer, But South Africa forces people to confront this question early, and the answer they choose defines their experience. Social life also adapts to financial reality. Entertainment is not always expensive. It is often simple. People meet at homes. They share meals. They talk. They laugh. Connection does not always require spending. It requires presence. This is why community matters so much. When systems are imperfect, people become systems for each other. They share information. They give advice. They help. This does not erase inequality, but it creates resilience. Resilience is one of the most underestimated traits of daily life here. Quiet. It is not dramatic, but it is constant. Now let's address a common misunderstanding. Many outsiders think people in South Africa are always struggling, always stressed, always unhappy. This is not true. Struggle exists, so does normalcy. People wake up, they go to work, they plan meals, they talk to friends, they rest. Life continues. And in many ways, it continues with intention. People do not expect systems to save them, they expect themselves to adapt. Creates a different relationship with reality. Less entitlement, more awareness. Awareness shapes daily life more than any headline ever could. If you are watching this from another country, this might feel unfamiliar. If you live here, this probably feels normal. That difference in perception is exactly why daily life is so often misunderstood. As we move forward in this series, we will talk more openly about costs, trade-offs, and the decisions people rarely discuss honestly. But for now, ask yourself one more question. Do you believe a simple, structured life can be more powerful than an impressive one? Share your thoughts in the comments. Because understanding daily life always starts with understanding priorities. To understand daily life in South Africa even deeper, we need to talk about something that numbers can never fully explain. Pressure. Not loud pressure, not dramatic pressure, but quiet, constant pressure that shapes behavior over time. In South Africa, pressure is not always about money. It is about uncertainty. People do not assume tomorrow will be the same as today, and because of that, they live differently. They prepare. They avoid unnecessary risks. This does not mean people live in fear. It means they live with awareness. Awareness of their surroundings. Awareness of their limits. Awareness of their responsibilities. This awareness shapes daily habits in ways outsiders rarely notice. People lock gates not because they are paranoid, but because routine creates safety. Choose familiar routes not because they are afraid, but because predictability reduces stress. People value trusted relationships. Trust is stability. Daily life becomes a system of small decisions designed to protect peace. Now let's talk about mental space. In many countries, people feel mentally exhausted even when their lives look comfortable. In South Africa, mental exhaustion exists too. It comes from a different place. It comes from constant adjustment. Adjusting to schedules, adjusting to availability, adjusting to change. Constant adjustment teaches patience. People learn that frustration does not solve problems. Adaptation does. This mindset slowly becomes part of daily life. You stop fighting reality. You start working with it. And when that shift happens, it becomes less heavy. Not easier, but lighter. Another part of daily life that deserves honesty is comparison. South Africa is a country of visible contrasts. You can see wealth and struggle on the same street. This visibility forces people to confront reality daily. Some become bitter. Some become motivated. Some become grateful. Some become detached. There is no single reaction. But one thing becomes clear: comparison is unavoidable. And because of that, many people choose to focus inward. Measuring life by someone else's standards, they start measuring life by stability. Stability becomes the goal. Not success, not fame, not validation, just stability. This is why many people here do not chase constant upgrades. A bigger house, a newer car, a flashier lifestyle, seen how quickly things can change. They know how fragile appearances can be. So they invest in routines instead, in habits, in systems. These systems quietly shape daily life. Family also plays a strong role. For many people, family is not just emotional support, practical support, advice, backup, shared responsibility. This does not mean life is easy, it means life is shared. Shared weight feels lighter. Now pause for a moment. If your life depended more on systems than luck, how would you live differently? Would you slow down? Would you plan more? Would you value stability over excitement? Think about that. This question sits at the center of daily life in South Africa. There is also a deep sense of realism here. People do not expect perfection, progress. Small improvements, better routines, smarter choices. This realism protects mental health. When expectations are grounded, disappointment loses power. And that is one of the quiet strengths of daily life here. People are not constantly chasing an ideal, are building something functional. And function creates peace. As this series continues, we will move even deeper into choices, trade-off, what truly defines quality of life. But by now, one thing should be clear. Daily life in South Africa is not about extremes. It is about balance. Balance, when understood, can be more powerful than comfort. If something in this part resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Because the most honest conversations always begin with reflection.